Good morning, St. Francis. It is April the 16th, 2021. It is Friday of the second week of Easter. It is the 13th day of Easter. And even though it's falling on a Friday, there is nothing to fear. It is Easter. Coming to you this morning from the beautiful iris garden. You may never have seen this. This iris garden, it blooms towards the other door, the secondary door, to Juniper Hall, which houses our kindergarten and first grade classes for our school, the Franciscan School. It is such a lovely garden, and the irises are just coming into bloom this time of the year. So it's a beautiful place to come, to sit, to walk, to ponder. And ponder is what we do today. Pondering again how the early church is continuing to expand, meet its challenges, add new members to its numbers, and who rises in prominence is one of the members of the Sadducees, Gamaliel, who basically tells the Sanhedrin, who tells the Sadducees that basically they should not fear these men and should not do anything to stop their preaching. Unfortunately, Jewish leadership, although they agree, feel as though that the apostles need to be punished somewhat, and so there's some flogging, but they let them go to continue their preaching. And the apostles rejoice that they can suffer as our Lord did, to be able to proclaim the gospel, to proclaim the good news, and not be stopped in doing so. With that is, again, we move away from the conversation that Jesus was having with Nicodemus in chapter 3. We now move into one of the second great signs in the Gospel of John of Jesus's truth and reality as the Son of God, and that is the feeding of the 5,000. Again, we hear this in other times. We hear this, throughout the year. It's recorded in other Gospels. But here again, through the eyes of Easter, what are we supposed to take away from this? And it's basically, again, the reality that when the disciples realize that it is late in the day and the people have had nothing to eat, and they may be getting hungry and cranky, they want to send them away, because a hungry crowd is not a happy crowd. And so rather than inciting people to riot or anything else like that, send them away, find food, what have you. Jesus tells the apostles, well, you find them something to eat if you are so concerned about all of this. Again, the desire to send people away rather than to meet their needs. And the apostles basically come up to Jesus and say, we've got nothing. How can we do this? There's 5,000 of them. There's too many people. We can't do anything to do about it. And basically Jesus says, all right, I'll do it. I'll take care of it. And so the 5 loaves and the 2 fish become an enormous feast where there's also leftovers for people to enjoy later on. This great miracle. Yes, it is feeding the 5,000. Yes, it is Jesus performing another sign that reveals his glory. But more importantly, it is the reality that if we can't get something done, God can. And that's the truth, again, about Easter. Again, Easter is not, again, this wonderful respite, of springtime, especially just in the northern hemisphere, because in the southern hemisphere, they're heading into winter. In the northern hemisphere of our world, not this glorious springtime in which, again, we don, pastel outfits and celebrate, flowers and plantings and things like that and enjoy warmer weather. That is not what Easter is about. Easter is about the power of God, which can conquer and overcome any obstacle anywhere that has ever been created, especially the obstacles that we as human beings create ourselves. If we notice that we cannot get things done, we do not give up. We do not run away. We do not try to dismiss the situation. We are called to turn to God and say, God, fix this. God, help us to see where it can be fixed. God, help us to have the strength and courage to be able to do what must be done, so that what is needed to be addressed, what is needed to be healed, what is needed to be brought back together again as whole, may be done so. Again, God can accomplish more things than we can ever imagine. The reality is, do we allow God just to do that? And do we allow God to do it on God's terms? A glorious Easter, St. Francis. May the Lord give you peace.